Welcome to 6.2's Math Moment. Today students continue to find the volume of rectangular prisms, but today what they were faced with was working with fractional sides and decimal sides. So all that means is we're going to apply the volume formula, which is length times width times height, to these two different rectangular prisms, even though they have fraction sides and some decimal sides. So we're still just going to use the formula to find volume. So here I have length times width times height. Length is how long a shape is, so my length here is 1. Then width is next, which is how far back or how thick a shape is, so that would be 1/4. And then my height is how tall the shape is, which on this shape it would be 3/4. So again, I'm just going to apply the formula, doing one problem at a time. So here I'm going to take 1 times 1/4. Now notice that when I took my whole number, I changed it into a fraction by putting it over 1. Anything over 1 is that same whole number on top. It just helps us to see what's the numerator and what's the denominator. So I have 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 4 is 4. So with multiplying fractions, just as a reminder, you just multiply straight across, top times top, and straight across the bottom to do bottom times bottom. So now I have 1/4 times this 3/4 that was left. Top times top is 3. Bottom times bottom is 16. For a final answer of 3/16 inches cubed. Because anytime I'm working with volume, I'm going to cube the units. So now with example 2, it says again, just to simply find the volume. I'm going to use my volume formula, which is always length times width times height, and use these numbers to solve. So my length here is how long the shape is, which is just 1 centimeter, times my width, which is how far back or how thick the shape is, which in this case is 25 hundredths. And then the height, which is how tall the shape is, which in this case is just 5/10. So when I'm multiplying by 1, and we could have looked at that here as well, anything times 1 is just the number. So this problem in example 1, we could have done it exactly how we did, or we could have just remembered and thought in our head, 1 times anything is just itself and dropped it straight down. So here, again, 1 times anything just stays exactly the same. 1 times 25 hundredths is going to be 25 hundredths, and then I'm left with times 5/10. Now when multiplying decimals, what we encourage students to do is completely ignore the decimals and just multiply the numbers as if they were whole numbers. And then we'll place the decimal at the end. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now I need to go back and decide how many total numbers are there behind my decimal point in that problem. And there are 1, 2, 3 total numbers behind. So I want there to be 1, 2, 3 total numbers behind my decimal in my answer as well. So my final answer would be 125 thousandths, which is a very small number, right? My unit is centimeters for this problem, and because I'm finding volume, I'm going to show that as centimeters cubed. If you have any other questions about 6.2, make sure to see your math teacher.